before the fights really start to begin. A lot of tips being handed up by both sides already. Smokes will be broken mid lane. Copy and Old will spot each other there for a second, but won't really amount to too much. Copy is somewhat careful because MOUZ are still smoked up around this mid lane waiting to try and initiate, but seems like they'll have to wait out their opportunity to try and initiate. The from now on is going to pretty much just stay on their side of the map.
Yep. Not too keen on forcing too much early on. And again, there's some pretty good level 1 play from MOUZ if they really wanted to force the issue. Have a lot of AoE control, some good damage output, but can be a little bit dicey up against nouns as well. And do just stand back, play it safe, and Allnet doesn't want to get ganked up. They do have wards to protect this corridor down mid on the river. Should still be able to snag away for a 2-for-2 here.
They're going to try now. Supreme's going to show up. Copy will as well. They don't really want to mess around too much. It's going to be a 2-for-2 by the looks of it. In fact, it might even be a 3-for-1. And it will be. The Nouns get away with an extra banner rune for themselves. Happy days on their end of things. Like they were able to contest Force for that extra bounty rune. And so Nouns already off to a fantastic start. Of course, we can start with the mid lane where you are going to see Supreme up against Copyra. I'd assume the Primal Beast should just have an advantage here, John. I mean, it is Primal Beast against another melee core.
Yeah, shouldn't be too rough for Supreme. There is some play for Copy, and he can at least try to clear out the wave. He's got some protection with his all damage barrier on Resonant Pulse. But Supreme, once he hits level 3, probably level 4 is when you can really start to see that kill threat with the level 2 trample up. Rune control going to be big as well for Copy to sustain this lane, to top up the bottle. Along with Supreme, and that's where MOUZ again should have a little bit of an edge with the Oracle on hand. Bangan should be spamming that Prognosticate right around the first power rune. So we'll see if that is something they can play off. And, you know, if the mind games come in. Last time we saw the Oracle come in, right? We saw them posturing, trying to mind game in on the wrong rune, snag away on the other side because of this positioning. It leads to some interesting plays can come out off the top of that, Mike.
It certainly can. What's happening in these side lanes? I mean, bottom lane right now, you've got Bengun, you've got Olnat, they're up against Lilith, and of course the Darkseer of Gunnar. Seems like Lilith is trying to get some pulls off here, but the Fortune's End is going to make it a little bit hard for him to approach the creep wave, so naturally will back his way out. Gunnar's had a pretty okay start for himself on this Darkseer as well, because he did have an earlier creep pull from Lilith, so he was able to secure his level 2 timing. They probably aren't going to get too aggressive down at this bottom. I'd imagine.
Fly?
Against Ursa Oracle's top lane now. Force going to take down Fly. Fly goes down to the Phoenix, and that'll be a very nice start here for the top lane of now.
Yeah, already seeing Force leverage that double shield crash with a double jump quite nicely, keeping Yuma fairly far back. The synergy of Phoenix and Weaver isn't that strong. You don't have as much play in comparison, say, a lane with a lockdown support, or even something like the CM with some slows to help you run around. Every single time you Shikuchi in, double jump kicks in, and Yuma's not going to be trading favorably into that point. You also have your camp opened up. Always have the pull back here. Fly just contesting a little bit. It is going to be a little bit slower going for now. It's up top. It does take quite a few levels for the Phoenix to really get some decent damage in. Again, with how tanky Force is, does make it hard to commit. Narman can just sit back a million miles away with a Stroke of Fate and still have some impact. As well with the value point in the Inkswell. Probably the most passive lane for Nouns coming out there. As again, the bot lane, you do have level 3 up and Gunner. Level 2 Iron Shell is ready. But it doesn't really account for much when you're playing up against the Oracle with his Dispels on hand.
They're going to try and abuse the tag team here with Lilith. It's not going to really amount to too much. Meanwhile, mid lane, Supreme's actually going for a big creep pull behind the tier 1 tower. Does get away with it. Gets himself a banner rune on top. He's going to continue to drag it back his way. Meanwhile, bottom lane, a bit of action breaking out, but doesn't really amount to much. Supreme actually just dragging the creep wave all the way to the medium camp as well, by the looks of it here on the Primal Beast, so really just trying to escalate in terms of the old farm department here on the Primal, and I suppose why not? There's no rotations here to try and punish Supreme for doing this. but he gets away with it just fine.
Yeah, and this is something we've seen a lot of mid-prime beasts do, just leveraging that early farm advantage. They do manage to snipe away Lullis as well with a bit of a chase down. And Ursa Oracle with the roots is really hard to play into. There's just no presence for Gunner here. Like that basic Dispel taking off Iron Shell makes it hellish for the Darkseer. That combination with Tusk, it's not going to feel strong for a long time. You could probably farm safely, but any aggressive place is just out of the window.
Yeah, it's certainly a very annoying kind of lane for Gunner to try and have to play into. It's one of those things, like for Gunner, as long as he secures his own farm on the Darkseer, he's not going to mind too much. It's going to be a little bit sad that you can't apply the pressure you're looking for, but it is what it is. You know, you just, as long as you secure that initial farm you're looking for on the Darkseer, you won't mind too much. Because this is a strong lane he's up against. Barely able to get away with the Surge, by the way, as Bengun was almost there for a Fortune's End to cancel the Surge off. A kind of close call there as Yuma top lane is now. Yuma getting taken out by Force. Force might die here to Fly, who does already get an Armin. Still trying with a shield crash, does get a lot of damage out, and Fly is going to be the one to go down first as Force able to secure a double, but so will Fly. 2 double kills up at that top lane.
Yeah, much bigger for Force. He takes the kill first, so he's alive for the EXP. Gets a huge boost for himself now. About to hit 5, a full level ahead of Yuma once he does get that additional creep going his way. And that much closer to the 6 timing where some combinations can kick in for the side of MOUZ. With that death as well, do get the bottle top-up coming here from Narman onto Supreme. Same thing goes for Copy. Just getting the pickup from Fly.
Oh, Supreme.
6s are up here.
He's going to try with the Pulverize, but he had no idea. Well, in fact, he's still actually winning out this fight. Copywara able to astral step out of there just fine. MOUZ prepped for that 6-minute power room timing. So it's probably going to be up top. Supreme will take it. I appreciate that Bengun literally stuck by the bottom rune just to play a little bit of mind games, you know, just nobody really knows where it's going to be, but obviously if Supreme goes top, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, you know, it's just being a little bit cheeky, you know, it's one of the things for the Oracle. You can make things interesting for yourself. And this game start already very interesting for MOUZ as well. 5-2, slight net worth lead. Net worth is still rather even despite these kills that MOUZ is finding, but again, the EXPs where things are getting a little bit out of hand for now. It's faster 6 for Force is lined up. Once he's got the roll, there is a more kill threat coming out top if they can land that combination with the Inkswell, or even a rotation onto mid if they really want to commit to slow down Copy. Still, you are getting a lot of free space for Gunner to just freely farm. Again, no kill potential, but playing with the Iron Shell. There's a rotation out from Supreme, but there was an early ward drop right around the ramp area. Does get a glimpse of vision from Supreme showing up, I suppose, walking across the river.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Top lane,
attack.
Copy. We're going to see the rotation out from the Void Spirit now. And Force does have Rolling Thunder, so it could be a bit of a challenging sort of fight to initiate from Copywara. He actually does back his way out, back into the mid lane, where he'll continue to contest the farm of Supreme. Very quiet now across all lanes. Probably set to get quite active again very soon, though, because we are going to have another power rune spawning in 15 seconds. Very hard for Copywara to really contest these power runes, though, when you have the advantage of just knowing where they're going to spawn anyway. Of course, Supreme, he'll just head up top. Copywara heads down bottom. And of course, it is going to be... I actually don't know why Copy's standing there waiting for the power rune as if he has a chance. Force will get have the help of Fly, or rather Supreme, as Fly will be the one to die. It's kind of cute for Copy to just stand there waiting for the power rune, I'm going to say, at the 8-minute mark, John. It's like, what do you expect, sir?
Yeah, I mean, what can you do, right? Rune control, it's all set up nicely on MOUZ. They've got good wards, just watching. I'll find Gunner as well.
Yeah, very nice kill there. Just a beautiful setup from Bengun. And Ultimate barely got the damage off in time, but he certainly got it in the end. Top lane. Supreme now being chased down here by Yuma and Fly, but In fact, even Copy Warriors trying for the chase now with the double Astral Step charges available, but Force is going to stun him up with the Rolling Thunder. And now you've got the heals from Bengun to come in on Supreme. The Primal Beast going to be just fine to reinitiate here as Copy going to try for the stun out onto Force. Does land the Aether Remnant. Meanwhile, Yuma trying for Bengun. Bengun okay to back his way out. Force trying to move back in. Supreme looking for a pulverized target. Not quite able to find one yet. Copy still has double Astral Step charges, so he's okay to back his way out as they do land an Aether Remnant onto Supreme. Jump in again. They won't land the follow-up stuns, though Supreme perfectly fine as now the turnaround onto Copy. He'll still be able to dissimulate just fine out of there. As Bengun being chased by Yuma in the meantime. Force now the target, but Force is just too tanky on the Pangoli. He'll be just fine.
Yeah, a rather interesting set of events coming out there. You are buying a ton of space out, I suppose, for AllNet and for Gunnar to start farming up. It doesn't feel like you have enough burst damage on the side of Nouns to really fully commit onto this tanky front line. Ruin.
Fly, gonna try and contest, but will give his life up as Supreme able to secure an amplified damage rune now. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's just so strong, this innate ability. Like, if you have the right mid laner who has the right lane, like, how do you win after that? Because now Supreme just secures every single power rune.
And he does. Had a running start already on this Primal Beast. Going for the straight BKB build-up here as well. So there's really nothing that's going to be stopping him in the middle of these pulverizes outside of maybe a punch out from Lullas. Are making some aggressive plays, bot. Bengun.
Now going to give it a crack. Bengun already down. A nice pick up onto the Oracle, but that's going to be about it. And now they'll try for the tier 1 bottom tower. Of course, the top tier 1 is going to go down a lot sooner. Supreme has been working on towards that for quite a while, so there is going to be an opportunity to try and defend here as MOUZ if you do want to keep that bottom tier 1 tower. But it doesn't really seem like they care for it, of course. They'd rather just start on the mid tier 1, for example, and just get other objectives. No need to defend that bottom tier 1.
Yeah, you're already in a safe position anyhow for AllNet to keep this farm game up. Battle Fury only about 300 gold away now as well for Ursa, so that farming pace can really kick into overdrive soon. Did opt for Yuma to go for the Dragonlance into the Deso, not going for the usual Maelstrom, Gleipnir, Falcon Blade kind of build up. Does want some early presence up here with some more stats. Minus armor to try to melt some of these tanky heroes as well. Have to see how clean that timing is for Yuma and how well they're able to play off of that quicker Deso on this Weaver. Still in a very good spot for MOUZ. Yeah, not a substantial lead by any means, but they are playing a lot more aggressive. They've got the confidence in the tankiness of Supreme and Force.
Copy.
Although,
dump in. Narman actually going to avoid the Aether Remnant, and now the Primal is going to grab him up with the Pulverizer. They get him onto the high ground. Copy makes it out. Supreme somehow jumps back in for a shield rune and does get it. Oh, Force with the Rolling Thunder kind of messed up there, John. Got him onto the high ground, giving Copy a way out. The Supreme still hanging by the mid lane, still has a shield rune active, so he's very, very tanky. Copy's going to be somewhat careful because they are looking to go in again. But they're going to find Fly instead, who does manage to Icarus dive out. Not that it matters, because eventually they will get him here with Force. Copy obviously cannot really help on the Void Spirit. He is forced to just get the hell out of it.
Nah, I mean, again, you're kind of stuck just waiting. Copy is still getting good progress onto the Ags. And that's when this Void Spirit can really start to play a little bit more aggressive up front. But again, that timing's going to line up with the BKB timing of Supreme, so at least one of the cores won't care too much about that AoE silence that can come into play. Mid-siege still underway. Not the quickest process from MOUZ. And they don't have long cooldowns to wait for.
Like, Copy's going to jump in. Aether Remnant out on Supreme, but he's just taking no damage. He just took no damage. I think he got like 100 damage total by Copy in that kind of combo. As keep in mind, he's going to have a BKB up rather soon as well in the Primal Beast. And that's going to make life so much more challenging if you are this Void Spirit. Like, where's the damage going to come out from to control this Supreme Primal Beast? I think Yuma is probably the answer you're looking for, but the problem is the Weaver. He's not at that point where he's going to feel confident to start to move in yet.
Not yet. And again, his farming pace is held back by the fact that he doesn't have any farm accelerating item. Dragonlance into Deso, as mentioned. You already have the Battle Fury for Ulnit, so he's taking over the net worth right now. Once you have the Blink BKB, a team fight into Roshan doesn't seem too unfeasible here for the side of MOUZ. One more rune for Supreme, haste rune up. And that Prognosticate from Bengen, just allowing the easiest rune pickups here for Supreme. The lack of runes is really hurting any sort of play for Copy. It just forces him to play a farming game, which you don't necessarily want on the Void Spirit. You kind of want to get kills into the Ags. Try to look for easy targets, but you don't have any buffs for yourself. You're forced to just sit back and farm. I suppose that is also good space for Gunner to work onto his own Ags. Still one part away, mostly here, lacking the point booster with gold on hand. So you will hit some strong timings that should align pretty much with Yuma's Deso, along with the Ags that we've been looking for here from Copy. I'm just concerned that it's not going to be enough once all of that aligns with the BKB up on Supreme now. And again, with this Ursa getting as much farm as he is already.
Mid lane, Copy. Will be okay to back his way out, but the mid-tier 1 tower, it will be going down. No problems here for Supreme.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Ulnit is certainly getting a little bit out of control here. Just top of the net worth board by a mile. And there's no chance of slowing down on this Ursa, that's for sure. Yuma, props to him, still keeping up very, very well on the Weaver, but might need to start to think about getting active soon with his team. And try and kind of stem the bleeding. MOUZ, I think, are farming a little bit too quickly here on their own courts. And I do like the timings of MOUZ a little bit better. You know, like this Ursa is going to get a lot scarier than I'd say the Weaver will be. Now Roshan does begin. Another beautiful part with the Oracle, John. You can just make it so Roshan doesn't attack you with Fate Edict. Very, very nice. Sadly, Fate Edict does have a cooldown. Might be another buff that Oracle does require, but, you know, we'll talk about that after this game.
We shall see. They take the gate across as well. They do not want to contest here with Lullis, who misses out. Ward should be spotted, and that does spot the smoke across the gate at the very least. So Lullis Ward should be able to get them a bailout on the bot. Still, I mean, again, this is the Ursa timing. Blink Battle Fury more than enough. They don't even need to force the fight out. See if the smoke pans out still.
Fly. React quite quick enough. Is Icarus diving the wrong way anyway? Wouldn't have really mattered. Nice little pick off for Force. Force 4-1 and 2 now on the Pangolier. The MOUZ, I mean, they are still hunting. They're still looking for more. This is a very hungry team. Nothing will come out of it.
Yeah. I mean, again, that smoke was spotted out by the ward, so it was harder to find anything bigger. You still have this good tempo lined up here for MOUZ. They still have yet to use the BKB on Supreme. You're still forced to farm up on the side of Nouns. Deso, 400 gold away for Yuma. We've got that Ags alt set. Well, actually, no. Gunner, I believe he did opt for Guardian Greaves instead. So no Ags rush. Does want some of that sustain here on Darkseer. No big punches to come in. But might be able to keep his team alive stronger. If their positioning's right, they play off the Sunray with the Guardian Greaves, with a good vac wall. And there is some play. Ags up for Copy. Should still be able to take control of the Ursa and the Pangolier at the least, even though you can't control Supreme. I mean, even though you're farming fine on Nouns, it does feel like right now, you're still in a really good position for MOUZ. Like, yeah, you're not finding kills, but you're not really fully set on tempo anyhow. You still have a lot of scaling. You're not too worried about dragging it into a late game scenario, or a later mid-game scenario when these fights finally break out.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Excuse me. Mid lane. Damn hiccups again, Jonathan. Never fun.
It's fun for me.
Supreme getting jump, Copy. Again, lacking a lot of damage. Supreme now going to look to turn around as they will get the Soulbind out onto 2 targets. Supreme still just tanking through so much as he finally is forced to onslaught away. They'll take down Fly on the Phoenix. Meanwhile, Copy trying for Narman on the Grimstroke. Should eventually happen, but needs a bit more damage to finish off the kill. Finally jumps in, gets the kill down himself. Meanwhile, Bengen on the Oracle, actually still alive with the It's promised, but no, he's not. They had plenty of damage. A 2-for-1 trade in the favor of Nouns.
Actually, a pretty decent trade for Nouns, considering they forced out the BKB usage from Supreme, so that's the first charge finally down. They are exposing some of the weaknesses of MOUZ right now in terms of hard AoE control. Can be a little bit lacking. And again, Sustain coming in from Nouns with the Guardian Greaves build-up on Gunner instead is doing quite a fair bit of work. They didn't even have to really commit that many of their ultimates. Are ready to go once more. Egg still ready. No wall, but just a vac egg with Sunray could be big enough.
Certainly could be. They're going to try Supreme. Sunray will start. Won't be anywhere near enough. Meanwhile, Force jumping in. They'll take down Fly.
Ooh.
The Ursa, though, he's lost his Aegis.
Radiant's middle tower.
Bit of an awkward kind of conundrum from Olnit as he just kind of melts to the damage output of Nouns. But he'll still be okay. So they'll take the Fly kill and that'll be enough for Nouns.
Not quite the way you'd want to expend at first stages. They didn't manage to get that much pressure onto tier 2s either, or maximize it for farm just yet. Oh.
Ooh. Gonna go down. Forster with the big rolling thunder, holding down two of them with the soulbind to follow up, but is it gonna prove to be enough? At least for Lelis it will be. Force now looking for a way out as Copy's looking for a way back in. Massive pick off though for Nouns, taking down Supreme. It's actually the first time Supreme has died this game on top.
Yeah, he dies for the rune as well. If he was trying to camp for that arcane rune gun, they do manage to finally pick up a rune on their side for Nouns. It is Gunner with an arcane, which isn't actually too shabby if they do manage to use it within this time frame with the wall, but probably not going to be able to do so. Still, you are seeing some of that bite back for Nouns. This Deso pickup from Yuma is doing short work on these heroes. They're very tanky in terms of HP, but not that much in armor. And Supreme is still stuck with level 1 Uproar as well, so he's susceptible to just the minus armor stacking with the Deso, with the Swarm on top. In prolonged fight, it does not take too long for that hero to melt. Heck, even Olnit, as we've seen with that Aegis, does get shredded quite hard. Still, gonna start making moves onto the tier 2, force out the early Fortify. Good forward wards, or good defensive wards by the tier 1 from MOUZ to spot. Nouns just playing around the bot area, so they know they've got leeway to get the shove in up top. And again, they maintain a very slight lead. It's a very even game at this point.
Yeah, a very scary replay we just saw. Olnit very confidently taking the Tormentor, getting himself down about 40 HP. He did not stop auto-attacking, I'll tell you that, John. Very ballsy play from our Ursa. Supreme. Mid lane looks like he'll be okay. Nouns not looking to make any form of a jump in yet. 5-man smoke here from MOUZ. They'll wait for their power rune first, and it's going to be an amp damage again. Fly ready to break the smoke. Does do so. Supreme, though, immediate jump in with the Pulverize is going to ensure they do secure a Phoenix.
Ooh.
And now the top. Lelis, he tried to jump in to save Fly's life, but the immediate stun out with the Pulverize made it impossible.
Just unfortunate timing. Good follow through as well with the Inkswell and the one forward from Force. Find themselves 2 freebie kills in the supports, and that should open up another opportunity onto the tier 2. You've got a BKB ready as well on Olnit. Has his fresh 9-second charge, still have 8 seconds up on Supreme. And there's not much play here for the side of Nouns. We'll just have to give another outer tower. Stuck with only the bot lane with some semblance of map control. Inside of MOUZ.
Radiant's bottom tower
I mean,
is under
once you hit
attack.
this Basher and Olnit, it does feel like your options to take these fights start to get rather limited. They will go for a smoke play, right to flank from the triangle. But the side of MOUZ, they're already hugging some vision areas here. If the smoke breaks, it's not going to be that comfy for Nouns.
You'd love to find Bengen first. Instead, they're going to find themselves a Pango. So Force is down. A nice start already. Narman also being caught on the Grimstroke should be another. As Copy moving in for more has found Benga. But Bengun actually gets caught. The Aether Remnant right on the edge from Copy. Gonna land and suddenly 3 down from MOUZ.
quick target identification onto the mid, taking care of Force first, catching the rest of MOUZ while they leave that high ground control they had on the top jungle. They do get punished severely. 15-9, again, a rather even game, but slight advantage swinging the way of nouns now. The R's are really starting to stack up on the Deso damage here for Yuma. 10 charges already up, as a Hurricane Pike to distance himself as well. And now they've got room to pick up a power rune for Copy. So I believe that's actually his first power rune, as Gunner took the one a while ago. Haste rune up for Void Spirit. A little bit more if they do see some opportunities onto the squishier targets. For MOUZ's part, it does feel like he needs something defensive on Force. He is going for a Manta of his own. It's going to take some time to build in. At least the Yacht is not too far off now. We've got that full basher up on Ulnet, so if this Ursa can get on top of a target, it should get deleted with no problem. And the issue is finding that target has felt a little bit tougher and looking for these big cores. Like, Yuma's done a great job of just playing it safe. We haven't seen Copy fall too recently either. Has just been the support sacrificing themselves, so the stall game from Nouns is actually going very well here.
It certainly is. Props to Nouns. They have not made it easy for MOUZ to really take over this game one. Still a 1k advantage their way at the moment, as they are going to smoke up as 4. A rotation towards the twin gates where Roshan has now spawned. Nouns still slowly making their way through the dire jungle. Very good position to start a fight here for Gunner to boot. Don't forget, you are still up against the Darkseid, so if they do go into that Roshan pit, it'll be a very hard fight, but they will not. They'll hang by the tier 1 tower by their own vision. Huge wraparound from Nouns, though, going by the Roshan pit. Trying to really come in from the back. MOUZ, have they read this kind of movement? I don't know if they have. Nouns still moving in. They might find Bengen first.
Break.
Vision down. Nouns still waiting. They'll see the Tusk now. Lelis underneath Vision does get a Sentry Force, popping the Rolling Thunder. But it is a bit of a waste. It's now Olden forcing a snowball out from Lelis. Lelis will die by the looks of it, though he's trying to make it as hard as possible. But he is down. That's one down for Nouns.
Feels so awkward to try to force this fight without the Rolling Thunder, though. Full
He's going to
minute.
try. Oh, Naaman barely saved by the false promise, but now the back
Oh, the
wall! Oh, Gunner! He found all 5 targets. Copy's jumped in. They can't believe it. Naaman and Bengen, they're already gone. There goes Force. No chance of survival. Olnet's going to try to make it out of this one, but there's no chance. Oh my goodness, what a back wall from Gunner. I mean, he found everybody and the kitchen sink on top.
That's the combination we were talking about from now. It's just that setup back wall into the egg with the Sunray running on top. More than enough damage to take care of them. And that's all off the back of them going all in to chase down Lelis. They used the Pulverize early on, so they don't quite have that for the re-engage. They use the roll, and Force just doesn't find anything there. It was just them playing off that vision. Yeah, you can see, again, all lined up, not respecting the vac wall, not respecting Gunner's presence. I mean, he hasn't been doing anything in the game for a long while, so it's easy to forget. Once it kicks in conjunction with the AoE damage Copy has, it just destroys them. Ulnet as well on the side, just tried to TP, got rolled and punched, isolated away. Everything just fell apart. MOUZ losing their early tempo advantage. Now a full 7k lead for Nouns. The game's in their hands, and it does feel difficult for MOUZ. If this roll doesn't connect from Force, then the AoE control is somewhat lacking. You're really relying on Pulverize to do a lot of work for you here.
They're watching Yuma right now. Supreme's thinking about jumping in with that Blink Pulverize, but he just does not feel the confidence here to make that play happen. Now a Shield Rune being spotted by Nouns. They can finally secure another Power Rune for poor old Kopiwara. You're seeing the laughter of Nouns. Copy, he'll happily take his Shield Rune once again.
Oh, Supreme?
No, they're going to try and jump in. Supreme's okay. There's a lot of damage, though, now being dealt from Copy. Certainly he's not the Primal Beast anymore that you just couldn't do any damage to.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
No. We've got a ton of output now in copy. And with the ags, with the stats starting to stack up, with the intrinsic edge, does do quite a fair bit as a universal type. With the jumps in and the resonant pulse, we'll find himself some small objectives now on the side of nouns. So they find a tier 2 bot, shoving in mid. Got the map opened up their way. MOUZ, they've got to execute on this pickoff once more. But nouns, they're coming out with smoke. No vision to scout that out from MOUZ. A good flank angle here for nouns if they can get that jump in.
Could be big. 4-man smoke versus a 5-man smoke. Nouns have got the Aegis up, but they're lacking their Weaver. They somehow run right across from each other. They're so close you can smell each other. Oh, Numa. Numa?
Oh boy.
There's no way.
Oh,
Smoke broken. They're going to see him. Did they see him? Ward's down. I think they spotted Yuma there for a second. They're praying he comes back. Please come back. Yuma. He's gone. It's that damn cockroach you spot in the middle of the night, John. You just don't get it the first time. And you never see it again. Not until that one time.
No.
You've really got to go to the toilet, you know? Don't ask me why I'm saying this, John. It might have happened recently.
No, it's just typical, Mike. You know, it's nothing personal for sure. For you, I'm sure. It's a standard Southeast Asian experience right there. Just giving Force and Norman the taste of home, I suppose, in a game of Dota. Man, I can't believe that smokes didn't pop, though. That's just... that's just so close to breaking. Now you've got a decent position for nouns. They are trying to hug their vision on the side of MOUZ, just around this cliff ward, but nouns aren't biting the bait. And they've got so much output right now in Yuma. Already has a casual Crystallis up, full Daedalus flying in. So even more damage kicking in. Once he has a shard on top, that's when things get really insane for the Weaver.
Lane Supreme. Jump is there. Copy Wara. Gonna land the Aether Remnant. And again, the damage output really starting to stack up now into Supreme. He'll pop the uproar, though, making it hard to continue as Supreme is able to just get out. As long as Bengun doesn't get caught on the Oracle, it is pretty hard to burst anyone down. You see Bengun every single fight just running for his life, trying to survive the output of Kopiwara. And that is really the key, I'd say, for MOUZ. Like, if this Oracle doesn't die, they don't lose the fight.
Yeah, I mean, they don't lose the fight. It's just hard to see them taking a fight as well where they win. I think that's the big issue right now for MOUZ. They're not seeing the opportunity to look for that pickoff in a wide 5v5. There's a lot of pressure on Force to get some good rolls. There's a lot of pressure on Supreme to get the proper BKB pulverize off. Yuma casually clearing out another tier 2 by himself, leaving only the mid left standing here for the side of MOUZ. As for their part, trying to shove in as well, down bot. Get a nice safer Tormentor take from Olnit. But the lead just keeps building up for nouns. Again, like this Weaver. Sure, Aegis is about to expire, but they've cleared out the map. They've taken control back their way on nouns. Going for the BKB next on Yuma. Has his shard up. If he's allowed to just Shukuchi across, get a couple of right clicks, and this backline support duo just dies. Once those supports are gone, like without the saves, these tanky cores don't last that long with the output now on the side of nouns up.
I mean, MOUZ, they still get away with the bottom tier 2 tower. Problem is the mid tier 2 tower will be taken by nouns, so they'll happily trade. I mean, nouns, they're still hanging around that mid tier 3. They will eventually leave the vicinity, but a very nice scan now onto Alden, so they know where the Ursa is farming. Nouns will have a gander, see who is in that dire triangle right now, but it is certainly the biggest target you could hope for. Thing is, Alden does blink TP away, so he's just perfectly fine here on the Ursa. Nobody getting caught. It was very, very, very important for Alden to continue having at least a semi-decent game for the rest of his squad. It's almost at the stage now where the Abyssal Blade will come up on the Ursa, and perhaps that could be the big game-changing kind of itemization that MOUZ have been looking for. We shall see. Nouns certainly not looking too weak themselves, though. I mean, this Weaver is hitting like an absolute truck at this stage. It's just a matter of how they want to try and contest as... Well, mid lane, Nouns once again staring at Supreme, but they will not jump.
He's still a difficult target, all things considered, and we haven't seen the side of MOUZ really split up, so they should know some saves are hanging in the backside. They're just taking control where they can on the side of MOUZ and nouns, playing on opposite sides. I mean, it doesn't feel like you have too much to be scared of, as nouns start to approach these BKB timings. You've got a BKB lined up for Copy. You've got a butterfly instead for Yuma, as I do believe his BKB should be flying in. If he did finish that build-up. Smoke out from MOUZ.
Mid lane, big group up. Copy. Get back to the high ground. Counter smoke now committed. Yuma, he's going to break the smoke of Supreme. Time lapses away. Can he get out? The force stop. He's all right. For now, Rolling Thunder will connect on the Weaver. They're still trying with the Pulverize to lock him down. Meanwhile, Narman and Bengen, they're both gone. Yuma, he does finally drop. Only able to secure the kill, but now the turnaround downs. They want to keep going. They're on the Ursa. Alden, still okay. Copy, has he gone too far? But now he'll be able to successfully retreat as they'll move on to Force instead. Force dropping quite low himself in the Pango. Is still able to walk away though. He's fine. It's kind of like nouns. It looked like a decent start to the fight, but they lost Yuma on the Weaver. It ends up being a 2-for-2 trade, and you'd have to make the argument, MOUZ, they come out on top.
Yeah, they do a lot of sick saves coming out there, trying to drag Yuma away. The Soulbind still connecting a really good roll from Force. We were talking about a lot of these fights very reliant on that roll follow-up. And this time it does connect in a big way. Good bounces back. Chain control over the Pulverize. The silences ensuring that the egg won't pop in. Double Abyssal right in the tail end as well. And the cleanup was there. And the vac wall this time from Gunnar, just catching the supports out. It's not enough. You need to get some of these big guys up there in the vac wall. Again, without the Phoenix, some of that bite in that combination is gone. You're also not able to clump everyone up for the AoE damage from Copy to really kick in. And MOUZ finding a very weird flank, right? Like sneaking around through the rear on the bottom jungle does make it work out. Roshan respawning shortly. Now it's in full force back up though. Wall not too far off either. They could force this fight again. MOUZ can't afford to lose another Roshan here.
No, they certainly cannot. Waiting by the Roshan pit now, sneaking
They're under
around
Vision.
right by the Lotus pool. Vision is around though. This could be a very hard fight for nouns, but they're going to jump in anyway, trying to force the BKB out of Olden. They do get it. Bengun already down on the Oracle. Meanwhile, an onslaught from Supreme onto 2 targets, but nobody's dying from nouns yet. Gunner's still alive. Gunner's barely going to make it. In fact, no, he does finally die, but Olden dies too. The Ursa is down. They'll buy back immediately on Olden, but they'll lose force in the meantime. The Pangolin is gone. So Olden, he's trying to rush back. They might just lose Narman on top. And Olden obviously just going to farm instead, realizing there's just no point to getting back towards that Roshan pit. And nouns, they are indeed going to steal another Roshan away from MOUZ. That's massive.
But it is. This ward from Lullas dropped earlier, giving all the info. They were hogging that Lotus pool while Olnut was making his way into the pit. Gets scouted out, gives a perfect angle for the side of Nouns to capitalize on. Now they get that safety net once more for Yuma. They get the free ags up for Lullas. The Walrus kick in play now. Repositioning available with that blink. This game gets a lot harder for MOUZ. Nouns have a lot more to play with. And yet this ward just shows the backline, presents that angle out for the jump from Copy. And they did manage to get the Soulbind combination with the Pulverize, but Allnut was just copying way too much damage early on. Without the saves, without the sustain, they just can't take these prolonged fights.
Oh, yeah, it certainly feels like you are well and truly at the stage now where once that initial BKB enrage wears off from Olden, he kind of just melts to the damage. MOUZ are kind of stuck, banging their heads against the wall now, trying to figure out a way to come back in this game one. I mean, Nouns are still playing a rather slow game, all things being said and done, considering they are 20k ahead at the moment. But now with the shield rune up on Copy, they might just want to go. You know, there's not really much in the way of stopping them at the moment is kind of the big deal, I think. Like, how do you actually fight them? Especially with Bangun getting caught before the fights even start. And I'm not blaming the Oracle, because the thing is, he's up against a Weaver, and a Darkseer, and a Void Spirit, and a Tusk on top. So, like, plenty of ways of catching this Oracle. But as long as Bengun dies, the fight, it starts to feel impossible.
And it does. Unless they get that isolation as we saw in that bot jungle fight. Isolate away Yuma somehow, but with a secondary life with a BKB ready on this Weaver, just doesn't feel like you're going to be able to find that angle the same way you did last time around for MOUZ. And the Ursa as well, like Ulnit, it's just so easy to kite even with the BKB. They have so much mobility on the side of nouns, and then they have the Walrus Punch, the Walrus Kick now as well. It's not going to be an issue to drag this Ursa away when he does pop that Enrage. Already the siege beginning down bot, just Yuma showing up.
I mean, that tier 3 tower is just not going to last at all. There's not really too many things to be done here, MOUZ. They're just going to kind of watch that bottom racks melt to the damage of Yuma. Still thinking about how they're going to try and force this fight. They've bought a full Abyssal on the Earth to boot, so Ulnit now going to have that guaranteed lockdown if they do move in for a Pulverize. But Lelis now with the kickback onto Supreme, going to put him in a very awkward scenario. He'll be able to BKB and run though. Supreme does make it out, but that's his BKB committed. And Nouns, I don't believe committed anything. So they can happily just wait to move back onto the high ground, knowing now Supreme doesn't have the security of his BKB left.
And no BKB and no Rolling Thunder from Force. Commits it as well very early on.
Ouch.
Doesn't really connect onto anyone. So that's your teamfight combination gone. Yuma still being cautious, showing a lot of respect for MOUZ and what they can try. Doesn't feel like you have too many options for MOUZ. At very least pulverizes off cooldown, but without that roll, without Force being able to disrupt these fights, it's feel like a relatively simple process of poke and prod here from Nouns.
Here we go again. The Yuma still playing quite safely on the Weaver, all things being said and done, but yeah, fair enough. Age is still up for a minute and a half. Jump in. They've found themselves an Ursa, of all things. Ulnit, he's okay. Lelis will die first. Supreme ensuring that he had the backup to ensure he stays alive. Copy jumping back in onto Ulnit, but Ulnit is fine. So they do get away with a nice cheeky tusk kill onto Lelis, and they are indeed going to put a stop to this high ground attempt that was incoming from now. So at the very least, you lose one lane of barracks, but it's still not the worst case scenario. MOUZ are still well and truly in this game, number one.
They're finding small trades.
There is an amp damage on Copy. You got to be a little bit cautious. Hitting for almost 600 damage per right click right now, but he's going to decide better off jumping.
Play it safe. I mean, if he does jump in, gets a couple of lucky crits off the Astral Step, a hero can just get deleted, I suppose. Still, the progress that MOUZ can find isn't that big. They'll find the last outer tower. Anything beyond that just doesn't feel too feasible just yet. You've got Yuma with a full butterfly up now, so our Weaver is doing 1,000,000 damage as well. 300 on a single right click with the Geminate attack plus the Shikuchi. And there's a lot of damage that will just fly out if Yuma's allowed to Shikuchi around. 20 to 19, 21k lead still standing for Nouns. One racks down on the side of MOUZ. Wondering which way they can itemize to really help out. Like, Force is holding out the gold to buy out the full Ags. The swashes on the jump can be quite nice in terms of getting some control back. You've got the MKB being forced out on Ulnit just because of all of this evasion up on Yuma with a butterfly plus the Avianis Feather. It is quite a fair bit of hits missing. They want to commit onto that Weaver now. It does feel like some of that scaling has started to slow down immensely on the side of MOUZ. Right, like your Primal Beast is pretty much fully geared up. Going for the Sight of Vice for some additional control can play nicely into the Soulbind, I suppose. Double Hex is going to be big if they can land that combination before the BKBs go on. A lot of ifs in these equation. Got the Octarine up for Ulnit now as well, so more uptime on the Enrage, and with the Overpower as well, with the Earthshock Enrage, so it's going to be a little bit harder to pin down the Ursa. It just feels like the execution's still much easier on Nouns, as long as they play as a team. The only way I see MOUZ coming out with some easy kills is like what we saw in Lilith's. Hanging around a lane all alone, not respecting that mobility still up on MOUZ. They can look for pickoffs, but beyond the pickoff game, it doesn't feel like you have much.
Very, very tough position again here, as now it's going to smoke up. Still rotating into that Radiant triangle now. MOUZ, they're going to smoke up his 5 to boot, so it seems like they are going to try and at least force a fight, but their smoke is already broken. Yuma, he does get caught by the pulverize, so maybe they can burst him down. Yuma, he's already gone. They've taken down the Weaver. Maybe this is the fight the MOUZ can finally commit to, as they've also going to find Gunner. The Darkseer is down. 2 for the price of nothing, and that's a massive gold change. It's like 5k gold with those 2 pickoffs. It's huge.
Man, that's the pickoff that we were looking for, right? For MOUZ, like they're isolated away from the rest of your team. Copy's not there to get the jump in, to get the silence off, force some BKBs and try some counter plays. Don't have Lelis around for the saves either. Copy.
Danger. Managed to actually step out, but the chase is on. Ulnet desperately trying for the Abyssal Blade. The Inkswell. The Inkswell will land right on the edge for Ulnet.
Oh, God.
That's a huge streak for the Ursa now. That was worth 2.5k gold. The gold change that is for the Void Spirit kill. Nouns. I mean, this is a little bit throwy, Jonathan. No other way to put it. They are straight up throwing this game away.
Yeah, I mean, again, they get a little bit reckless splitting apart. It feels like they've been very disciplined playing as a unit of 5 when they cross the map. And they provide one opening for MOUZ, and suddenly the game blows a little bit open. Are already starting that siege onto the high ground. Respawns aren't too far off, at the very least. Roshan is also a minute and a half away, so no instant objectives for MOUZ to find off the back of these kills. You're certainly feeling that confidence come back just a bit here for the side of MOUZ, for sure. Start playing further out. If they can secure this next Aegis, that's when things start to get dicey for Nouns. But they have been playing very well around Roshan on the Dire end anyhow. We'll see if MOUZ can finally sneak a Rosh away this time around, outside of the first they had a while ago.
It certainly feels like it's their best chance now to finally secure that Roshan. Hex up onto Supreme. I can't believe they found a way back into this game, quite frankly, John, just with the way things have gone. You know, like, it really is kind of surprising how this has ended up the way it has. Dota Plus was sitting at 96% for Nouns. Was is the key word, Jonathan. Currently at around 78% now for Nouns.
Well, that's what happens when your cores kind of die almost one by one there, Mike. When you're that far ahead, it does bounce back.
Could happen again. Jump is there. Yuma this time will not get caught first. Gets his BKB off. Narman, False Promise will save his life. Lelis, he will die first. The Tusk he'll have to buy back. Meanwhile, though, the fight looking really ugly for MOUZ with the Pulverize. They've got Yuma. They've got the Rolling Thunder, and Yuma is gone. Yuma is down again. He'll buy back. He'll time-lapse into the fight. Try to salvage the situation. They are going to find Ulnet. All right, Ulnet's down another time. He's got buyback. The problem is Roshan is available. So I think MOUZ have lost another Roshan now.
That they have. There's no way they're contesting this one. Looked like a decent way to start the fight out for the side of MOUZ. Losing Ulnet does take a lot of that bite away. Giving another Rosh off as well. It's going to be a nasty thing to deal with for MOUZ. They've been doing a great job in avoiding that Aegis spike for Yuma. But now they get the free Ags upgrade for Fly. More hits on the Egg. They got the save potential with the Egg as well. You know what, Mike? This feels like a Southeast Asian game, doesn't it? Full Divine up for Copy. He wants this over.
Wait, why not? Divine Rapier up for Copywara. Yeah, with this stage of the game, like, he's probably just thinking to himself, like, listen, this team has almost thrown this game a couple times now. Let me just finish this game. Let me do this one for the boys. Yuma, tier 3 tower. Makes very short work of it, of course. The kind of the key, like, if Yuma dies, it makes the fights significantly easier, to say the least. Maybe not so much anymore, because Copy has 1 billion damage on with the Divine Rapier. And of course the Ancient Guardian, which is also about to kick in as Supreme. Needs to be careful. Jump is there. Yuma was hexed up for a moment, but they haven't. Oh, maybe they do. Yuma, he'll survive. Instead they'll go after Lelis and they'll secure the Tusk kill. My goodness, I mean, Yuma was very close to just dropping. Had the Aegis anyway, I suppose, so probably wouldn't have cared too much. But somehow MOUZ, they defend high ground and they'll get away with another Lilith kill.
And that's a dieback for Lilith, so you've got a bit of a window here for MOUZ to look to make a play without having to worry about the Tusk and his saves and his kickbacks. Supreme also not getting punished after being kicked back like that. That's a pretty massive win for MOUZ. They buy time for the respawn on Ulnit. He gets to join back in. I will say that the loss of Aegis and the loss of the free Ags is really hurting MOUZ. Like, imagine he had the free Ag Scepter up for Ulnit. If he had Enrage through the stuns, he gets that off. Gets to cop a little bit more damage with the Octarine, a little bit more uptime as well. Less downtime overall. The Ursa could do a lot more work. It's just these fights, the timing has been so awful for MOUZ. Nouns have been able to capitalize so well. Still, some fresh items pouring up. Should have the full MKB not too far off for Ulnit. You've got the full Assault Cuirass for Force. Help defend up against the physical onslaught that Yuma, and to an extent, Copy is letting out as well. So, I've got some protection on hand. The big thing for MOUZ is really just find a way to keep Bengen alive as long as possible. Like this, it's like you said earlier, but it really does feel like you are banking on this Oracle to get you through these prolonged engagements. He does have a nice telescope for a little bit more reach. He's had his blink for a while. Going for the Guardian Greaves into the Holy Locket as well. I wouldn't mind an Aether Lens to close out the slots if you can afford it, although it does look like he's fully occupied. Maybe off the Guardian Greaves slot, you can kind of consider an Aether Lens just for more reach with the telescope. MOUZ, again, they've managed to hold on well. It does feel like they're always one fight away from losing it all, though. Like, if this next engagement goes now in Sway with a Divine up and Copy running down on the Ancient, it's not going to take that long. Especially with the damage as well on Yuma.
We are going to have the reconnection here from Ulnit. Go ahead is there. Back underway is this game number 1. Drastically different to that last series we watched where both series, or rather both games were seemingly very dominant. But this game 1 is just so close between these two teams. Like, we are having a complaint for some lag on the Nouns end of things. Hopefully that gets resolved rather quickly. But again, John, I mean, this game already is just so much closer than that whole series we just saw earlier between Blacklist and, of course, Beast Coast. Here we go again.
Yeah.
Wonder, I mean, it's that one team fight you spoke about, Cup. Like, do Nouns finally find the fight they've been looking for to put a lid on this game? There's still 3 core buybacks available on MOUZ, so I can't really say it'd be a guaranteed victory. One of those games, John, you know? One of those games that could go a while.
Yeah, it could. We are inching towards the 60-minute mark. Smoke out from Nouns. I think all they have to do is force the 5v5. Just run in as 5, get your combinations off, get a good vac wall. That's probably the most important bit. If Gunner can land a vac wall and get a good egg from Fly, you're kind of set. The issue is finding that.
MOUZ holding position. They've got some vision in their own triangle, just waiting for the initiation to come in from Nouns, but Nouns are being very patient themselves, just holding their own smoke. MOUZ will just retreat back towards their base and just hold their own position on that high ground. The thing is with this Divine Rapier as well, for Copy, it's like you're kind of worried about feeding it away. So you're in this weird position now where it's like, yes, I can delete anyone, but I can also get deleted instantaneously. And naturally, like any good carry or any good core player, he doesn't have like a BKB or something, John. Because why would you need a BKB in a game like this?
Nah. Who needs that item?
No doubt.
Doesn't give damage, right? Yeah, exactly it. You have a Manta, you stick to Manta. Maximize that one dispel you have. That's all you need.
Yeah.
All you need.
Smoke.
Oh.
They'll run through the mid lane here, MOUZ. They'll get into the triangle. I mean, this is probably just going to be like a smoke to relocate to be able to farm. in terms of fighting, I mean, they are having a gander to see if they can find anyone. In fact, lines have been drawn right towards Dire Triangle.
Radiant are
But that is
scanning.
nouns drawing the line, so they are predicting very well that MOUZ has smoked up, trying to come towards them. And they are just holding their own position in their own Dire Triangle now. Just ready for the fight if it does come, but it doesn't seem like it will come. Because MOUZ, they have backed off.
Yeah. Again, a lot of caution up here for nouns, even with its lead. I mean, if Copy just randomly gets chain stunned, which he can be, he gets deleted, and then suddenly you might have a Divine Ursa running around, or even a Divine Pango doesn't sound too bad here. The Swash, any one of those is going to be painful, so you might as well hold your cards close to your chest. Maybe wait till 60 minutes, Mike. We'll wait for those tier 5s, why don't you?
My favorite. My favorite, Jonathan. Go, MOUZ.
Can't believe it. Day
What's that,
one,
John?
you know, day one of the Riyadh Masters of the Esports World Cup. We got a little bit of delay. It's like, all right, you know, that happens.
Yep.
It lasts a little bit long. And then you
Yep.
get into, you know, the first series, not too long. Suddenly you come into this one, MOUZ and nouns, whose two names are already kind of phonetically familiar.
Yeah.
Also end up going 53 minutes already.
Yes. As is
That's what you
tradition.
get when you put us on the stream, Mike. Yeah,
It
exactly.
certainly is. This is the one thing that I can't believe still hasn't been changed. Of all the changes, right? Like we've added talents, facets, or whatever the hell else. We still can't breach high ground, John. It's still borderline impossible to go high ground.
I thought
What is, John?
I thought you were going to say, you know, I can't believe it hasn't changed. Why do they keep putting us on these games that can last long? Or in these teams that could potentially play long? Because it will. If a team can play long when we're casting, they will play long. Michael
true.
Phoenix.
And we're the idiots that don't charge hourly. I mean, at this rate, I don't know why we still charge a day rate like that matters anymore. But what happens in the event that we actually cast for 24 plus hours, John? Do we get a secondary day rate? Is that how it works?
I'm pretty excited for that day to eventually come. Hasn't yet. I think our peak is 14, Mike.
No, it
Need
was
to
a lot
pump
longer
those
than
numbers
that.
up.
It was longer
I'm
than
pretty
that,
sure
John.
14. Did we have 16 our day? No way. No, you.
No.
I
had
cannot
days,
fathom.
I've cast 2 tournaments in the same day, and I'm pretty sure it went for like 18, 19 hours, some crap like that.
No. You didn't cast back to back. I think you did production in one of them,
Oh, I
and
did
then you
too.
casted
You
the
are
other
right.
time. Yes.
Yes, you are correct.
Ah,
Anyway,
tisk,
moving.
tisk.
Who the
Cool.
hell cares? Now,
Nouns?
smoke is out. They're not going to find anyone yet. Narman actually just blinks out of it. Lelis almost couldn't believe his eyes. He just pops the dust and finds nothing. The MOUZ being very patient, just waiting towards the north. Both sides, of course, playing around their own vision. A lot of vision is around here from MOUZ, though. They've got one right by the Lotus Pool and right by where the top tier 1 tower used to be on the Radiant side. Because Nouns have completely retreated, now going right back towards the Radiant base, where they would have rushed for the T3 towers. I mean, why not? There goes your top racks. It's gone. Tier 3 tower almost gone. But that's one way to do it.
Let's play.
How much do you really want to wait for Roshan?
Still a minute 40 until it's up as well, but that could line up nicely here for now. And still, MOUZ on their way out as well. They do spot Gunner out. Does manage to clear out the ward. But any kill here to force a 5v4 could open up these engagements. Perhaps MOUZ could, I don't know, even dream about Roshan if they find that pick off first. We shall see. Scan is good.
Found fly with that scan. Shiva's Guard will give a bit of vision. Supreme, who'll happily take the jump in, but the Aeon Disc is going to prop, giving Fly another chance at life as now the Vac is out. Fly, he will finally die, but he's going to buy back here on the Phoenix. In fact, now a kickback. Supreme completely out of position, really in trouble thanks to Lela. Supreme will drop. Now they'll go for more. Copy. Has he found Alden? I think he may have. The Ursa, he'll go for the Ek. Fly, they're going to be just fine. Alden needing to run away, but the Shard's going to lock Alden, and he's just standing there trying to stand his ground. And Alden is dead. Or is he? He'll pop another enraged, trying a man fight, but he is gone. Meanwhile, Force also to drop. Copy's found another. They'll take down Narman. Alden's brought back, but it's another buyback with another no Roshan. The second time this game has happened to Olnett. He buys back, but there's no team to fight with.
Yeah, it's just a repeat. Again, the Roche fight doesn't line up for MOUZ. Again, Nouns finds a good angle right by the ramp. They force out all of this control onto Fly, who with the Aeon Disc forces out even more control. Lack of utility for the follow-up fight. And the side of MOUZ, it's another Roche they miss. Again, it's a really good position for them to hug on Nouns. They managed to get that good kickback as well on Supreme. The isolation plays that Nouns has on hand is just overwhelming. Again, just unfortunate for Olnett. Tries to go onto Fly. Egg flies in. Doesn't have his jump out with the Earth Shock, so it's just forced to cop it.
Oh, Supreme.
Oh.
Deleted. Thanks to the kickback of Lelis. Force going to try and move in with the Rolling Thunder, doing some good work here up against the Tusk. Does take Lelis down. But the Mega Creeps are incoming now for the side of Nouns. They're going to try and drop copy, getting quite low. Not quite though. Does manage to simulate and does get away. Copy's fine. Olnett is not. Olnett still trying with the Enrage to buy himself a little bit more time, but it's not enough. He's down. GG is called. Nouns will pull off the Game 1 victory up against MOUZ Esports.
And that was a slugfest of a game. MOUZ coming out strong in the initial parts of the game. You know, they're getting some good stuff going in their lanes. They're getting some good aggression. I mean, you're going to need some attack speed, I guess, but it shouldn't be a problem with a Phantom Strike. I know. It just feels weird. You don't have that instant burst. You have to take a little bit more of a prolonged fight in a sense. I mean, you have higher crit, but that window until you get that kill does feel mildly awkward.
Oh, we'll see. Like one Phantom Strike basically guarantees you a crit. You know, I think you can kind of look at it that way.
30 seconds to battle.
Yeah, but you only get one now. Whereas if you're lucky, you can get like 2 in a row, right?
I understand what you're saying. The value, you know, obviously felt like it was there without this this facet. The thing is, it seems that they want to just remove the RNG altogether. We are going to have the wraparound. MOUZ trying to be cheeky. They're going to see Lelis. They will actually... No, they landed the Syndicate. Lelis did get hit by that. And Lelis is down. Olnett able to secure first blood already on the PA. So you've kind of already got your perfect first blood here for MOUZ. You couldn't have asked for a better start.
Yeah. It's a very nice start out for MOUZ. You're going to be enjoying that early gold injection as well. For Olnett. I'm not sure if we caught that. Oh.
If Fly sticking around could be in danger, but now Yuma's actually going to intervene, trying to slow down Force, but Force is just going to keep going. Fly is actually just perhaps dead as they do get him. Stroke of Fate plus the right click from Force and Nama do get it done. And well, that's a concerning sign. 2 kills already for the side of MOUZ Esports.
Yeah, they leverage that early advantage quite nicely. And that's going to be a cause of concern coming in here for the side of Nouns. Again, this early start for Olnett, I think, is going to be the big factor. Faster power treads, faster battle fury for your PA. Yeah, again, the damage values on Dawnbreaker is not amazing. We've only really seen a trend recently with Tusk, and you don't have that sort of damage amp combination coming out here for Nouns on the off lane for Gunnar. I'm keen on seeing how much Lelis and Gunnar can do to stop that, but I do suspect that Olnett's not going to have a rough time into the Battle Fury whatsoever as long as he doesn't play too aggressive. Still down bot again with the early kill coming out for Force. A little bit faster onto his first bracer and the secondary into the stick.
A lot of damage being dealt onto the Weaver as well here. Like Narman and Force are really just giving it over to Yuma. Like this combination of Fly Yuma down to this bottom lane, they are very susceptible to dying as the levels do go up on MOUZ. Like with that Cinder Brew combination, it is so much damage if they do land both spells.
And that it is. I have to really respect that. It does feel like you do want more levels to be up to really get aggressive there. And it's going to take a little bit more for that Kotl to really pump up the damage. We were seeing some aggression out onto Olnett. And again, you do have Bengen going for that Paralyzing Cask Headhunter instead of Voodoo Festeration. With the nerfs, it does feel like you kind of go back to old Witch Doctor, you play with a cask, you kind of prioritize healing your allies instead of running down. And that is all you want here in this lane anyhow for Olnett. You just want to sit back, farm, get that build up. Maybe when you hit 6, you can start to consider some kill opportunities. But before that point, I mean, this is still fairly tanky on Gunner. Fairly disruptive on Lilith to really look for kills. But you can control the lane. Like, there shouldn't be major threats onto our PA here at the least.
No, it doesn't seem like it. The Alden's having a great old time so far. I mean, maybe not in the CS department. That is one thing that Gunner can kind of control is the CS and the laning stage. Not the greatest for Alden quite yet, but that is somewhat to be expected up against this Dawnbreaker matchup that he has. Not too big of a deal for it. Mid lane, Supreme getting very low now on the Dragon Knight, but seems like he's going to be pretty confident just remaining alive. Copy does have the Vortex into the Static Remnant combo though, so Supreme does have to play somewhat cautiously. But he does have some stick charges, so it looks like he's pretty confident to survive. Copy doesn't bother trying to go for the kill.
Again, it's that level 3 spike for Copy to play with. The double overload can overwhelm the early durability of the DK. And Supreme's been doing a great job in just mitigating that, and soaking up some HP, just playing it safe with a Breed Fire, and just basically making it a farm game. Again, if you can get a rotation out from your supports here for Nouns, the kill potential early on onto Supreme is going to be big, but it doesn't feel like they've got enough room to leave these side lanes into maybe the 6-minute mark. You can start to see that kind of play.
Top lane. Slight chase onto Gunner, but they won't really bother continuing the chase. The healing lows make it a little bit too hard to actually secure a kill. I mean, apart from those initial kills that happened with that big fight, like, we really only have 2 kills that happened before the game even started. Like, it's just very kind of passive laning stage already between these two teams. Top lane, I say passive. Gunner's getting jumped here. Starbreaker will be avoided by Alden as Gunner still trying to run, but the healing load is going to make it hard to take him down. The Alden is starting to get rather aggressive on the PA, which is not something I think I was quite expecting to see against the Dawnbreaker Hoodwink lane, but it seems like Alden's fairly confident to play this rather aggressive.
Yeah, I do like that. Again, forcing out this regen on Gunner, forcing him to walk all the way back, just providing a very free lane for Alden to keep playing this farm game. You're not necessarily looking for the kills, you're just looking for space. You're getting that space out for Alden quite freely. Still a little bit behind in CS, and overall, in terms of that lane economy, it has been a lot better for Nouns. Gunner, Copy in particular, starting to run away on that mid lane. So you have some foundations to play with here, but is forced to go back and reset. With, again, no one dying means there's no bottle top-ups for Copy for free. And that does give a lot more room for Supreme to play with his own regen and maybe even hit a faster 6, which can be scary.
Bottom lane, Blinding Light will barely save Yuma, I think, because had that Inkswell kind of went all the way, I think Yuma would have been in a lot more danger, but Fly will ensure he is perfectly fine. It's kind of the thing with the bottom lane, though. Force has just had complete control on this Brewmaster. Nothing they can really do about it. And Yuma just trying to secure his own farm at the moment on the Weaver. Right side, he's actually ahead of Olnett when it comes to the CS board. So Olnett actually still behind the Weaver when it comes to the farm department. The Gunner is going to make his reappearance back up towards that top lane where he does actually secure another Healing Lotus for himself. TP's incoming. They'll bring Supreme over. Gunner, he already committed the Celestial Hammer, so he's in pretty big danger. And now with the Metal Dick down, Gunner is just as good as dead. Supreme with a very nice rotation, able to secure a kill straight off the bat.
I like that readout from Supreme, knowing that locking in Copy with his level 6 not going to be easy, so he's not going to be able to push in onto the mid. Instead, just look for the kill, find that pick-off, open up that top lane a little bit more, and get some momentum going your way off the back of... They did lose double bounty runes to Lelis, so that's a little bit of an economy, and just a little bit of a freebie for now. It's not the biggest thing in the world. And again, bounty's not as important for DK, without having to worry about bottle refills. Are contesting the Wisdom Rune, though.
And they do it, though. Narman about to go down. Does die to Copy. Wisdom Rune actually picked up by Fly, so he does get away with it, though it is going to cost his life, but they'll be very happy with that trade.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Fly happily dying for that Wisdom Rune. And there is still the other Wisdom Rune to be taken. Because Lilith's currently just farming the mid lane at the moment, so won't be around to do that himself, but I'm sure Fly will happily TP and secure it. if need be. But again, I mean, really not too much aggression happening between these two sides. Like a bit of laning action, but that's pretty much been about it. Very, very slow lanes.
I think it comes down to just needing levels to really get aggressive, although Olnet's getting jumped early here.
I mean, every time I say it's a slow game, Olnet gets jumped apparently, and the PA is... He's down again. Or I should say for the first time. So that top lane is the crux of me, Jonathan. Just continues to be where all the action happens. And I suppose now, with that kill, you could think about the top tier 1 tower, but without a siege creep, chances are it would just be too slow anyway.
Not the quickest. You don't really have damage up on Yuma to right-click down a tower.
Oh.
Gunner.
Yeah, sticking around way too long with that headhunter facet. Just so much damage being dealt to Gunner, who'll try to solar bind away, solar guardian away, but not enough.
That's a decently big ult to waste. It's not a short cooldown at level 1. They are trying to Supreme, but he is fairly tanky, even with both supports hanging around. Yuma.
Jump in again. They're onto the Weaver. Yuma, bottom lane. Can just time lapse. He's just kind of playing with fire. Back, zip in from our Storm. Copy Warra. Right onto Narman, looking for the easier pick-off, though Narman barely will drop. Copy able to get a very nice pick-off for himself now, as he will just escape immediately. MOUZ sadly cannot punish.
Nice little pick-off for nouns. Get some action off and Copy. Some more galvanized out force.
Yeah, he wants more force. Primal split will be committed. They'll turn back onto Yuma, who gets stunned up by the cast.
Oh.
Bengun, he got nice and lucky with the bounce back. Copy, gonna try and zip away, completely out of mana now. Force will just lock him down with the Cyclone, and this time Nouns may have gone a bit too far. But no, Copy actually survives. He actually has a bit of mana now with the magic stick charges that were committed to boot. The Storm gonna be just fine anyway. But they do lose Yuma, which is the big deal, I think, anyway.
Yeah, I mean, that kill on the Weaver does allow a little bit more breathing room for MOUZ, knowing that, you know, Yuma's timings into the Gleep, into that early Maelstrom is kind of stalled out just a bit more. You've got breathing room out for Olnet to play top, although they do gate across once again with Yuma and Lelis. Might be able to secure that bot tier 1 at the least for themselves. A bit unfortunate for Force that the Primal Split was fading with the Inkswell on top. They would have been able to find that out. You are seeing again that daytime flashbang. We do get the big map to watch. It is blinding. It throws me off every time when I see the map light up like that.
Blind?
Every time.
Why is it blinding?
It just doesn't look natural. You know, when you see the entire map without the fog of war, Mike, it doesn't feel natural. It's blinding.
No, I mean,
to
it
me.
doesn't feel natural, John, but it's not blinding.
It's blinding to me.
Bottom tier 1 tower going to go down here. Supreme will make very short work of that. The TPs are incoming. Oh, they missed the bushwhack. Force, so far, able to get away. Solar Guardian is going to be committed. Gunner going to move in with a very nice Celestial Hammer into the Starbreaker, landing on 2 targets. Bengun is down. Now Gunner needs a way out. However, MOUZ, they're the ones dropping low, so they need to get the hell out of there. Force does go down. Gunner able to get another. Supreme, in the meantime, still trying to fight this one out, but he might just melt. Barely able to walk away, as it seems as though Nouns do not want to dive tier 1 towers. Almond is going to TP in, does get the crit off onto Gun. Problem is now Yuma's going to turn. Almond, how far do you want to go? It looks like he was kind of ready to just fight again, but they do time-lapse Yuma away. That'll be about it.
Nice kill for Olna to work his way into as well. Accelerates that. Battle Fury is going to be up relatively soon. He did skip Power Treads for this, but he is going to have a fairly fun time getting out all of these stacks his way. Not going to take too long for them to start clearing out. Again, a little bit of a deeper move out, committing Solar Guardian as well. Like, having that Maledict come out does secure that kill for Bengen, and does make it pretty worthwhile, despite losing their own Witch Doctor. I mean, they don't find any bigger core. Tankiness is still too much, as they are jumping for more.
Oh, they are going to catch themselves a Keeper of the Light, so nice easy pick off here for Supreme. Even finding some stacks here for himself that I think Copy Warrior probably would have loved to take himself, but now they will be taken by MOUZ. you what, you really can't underestimate the amount of damage that that Headhunter facet does with the paralyzing cask bonus damage. It does add up to quite a lot if you get the right bounces. There's now Copy. Intervene and take some stacks for himself. That'll be about it. They're out of there once again.
Just go back and build up. You're not in a rush here for MOUZ to play hyper aggressive. Again, you kind of need more farm up on Force and on Ulnet as well. You want this Radiance to be done on your Brewmaster. You want Power Tread's BKB to be done on Ulnet to really feel comfy up front. And they are getting the space to get that done nicely. They're not really losing too much map space here anyhow on the side of MOUZ. The mid-tier one's gone from the side of nouns. The bot tier one, they've got enough room to feel comfy in the triangle. And even the further reaches of their top jungle as well, it's still relatively safe. There's nothing too sneaky nouns can do. And I think for nouns, it does feel like they have a little bit more pressure to play tempo, right? You want to play with a zip of copy, get that solar guardian off, look for pickoffs time and time and again. And we'll try now with a little bit of a smoke out. No vision from nouns to really spot anyone out though. You're not going to be able to find anything really off the back of this movement.
Yeah, I mean, nothing really going to come out of this at all. They are controlling the top side of the map here. Like nouns, they'll get a bit of wards down, set up for some kills in the future.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Now, Esports, I mean, you are playing with a PA of all things, so obviously Ulnet's going to just want as much time as humanly possible to make this PA start to feel very, very strong. You kind of wonder as well, like for nouns, like, do you want to play this kind of game against a Phantom Assassin? Do you even worry about it? You know, like PA doesn't really get picked that often, apart from the players that do just favor it as a signature. So apart from players like Ulnet, is this hero even good? I suppose we're going to find out as the game goes on, but I just wonder how nouns feel about it.
I think it can be good. I think right now, Ulnet rode through probably the roughest phase. The laning phase is where you can really bully out the PA. They didn't quite do that in nouns. It's gotten a lot of free room to just clear out the jungle. Rotations out from nouns hasn't panned out to a PA kill. And once you hit the BKB timing on Ulnet, that's where things get really scary. You have nothing to pierce through that debuff immunity. So, outside of Starbreaker, which is not the most reliable thing from Gunner, to be fair. So landing that control onto the PA is going to be an issue. Your output on the Weaver can catch up. Like, again, like typical Gleipnir. Maybe an MKB this game for Yuma, just to pierce through the evasion. Make it easier. They will get to jump in.
We will. Top lane.
Bang's not dead.
No, he's not dead. He is not dead. Bengun's fine. Gunner could be in danger now. He has used the Starbreaker, and the Shard's magic immunity is going to wear off. That'll be about it. They lose Gunner on the Dawnbreaker, and well, they do find Ulnet down a bottom lane. So that's huge. Ulnet going down here on the PA. Not what you would have quite expected, but Fly and Yuma, they do get the job done.
That they do. That's a much more worthwhile trade coming out for nouns. Good punishment onto Ulnet, farming right beside a ward area. Let's get punished for it. And that will stall out this key BKB timing that you want on the PA to feel comfy. Again, the magic damage early on is still big. It is a little bit concerning when you do jump a Witch Doctor and he doesn't die though. I will say, just this cloak alone on Bengun's been enough. They will take care of Copy now as well with a jump forward in the back.
It's a little bit concerning. Copy Warrior now going down, and like, this draft of nouns, like they had a similar style of draft to the first game, and it obviously worked out quite well in their favor. But you are starting to reach a stage, I think, where MOUZ will slowly start to overtake in this game too. Like, sure, you just killed Ulnet on the PA, but it's not going to matter that much, as we are seeing Ulnet die again. Here's that TP attempt that just did not pan out for Ulnet. The thing is, though, the PA still seems like it's finding more than enough farm to be quite a relevant issue here for now to have to deal with. And you still have a DK Brewmaster to worry about on top of that. It's not looking like an easy game at all for now.
Oh, it isn't.
Copy? They're going to try to Force again. Force is a pretty tanky boy, though. He should be able to get the Primal Split off if he needs to. And he won't even need that. Yuma going to show up. Start out from Supreme. Gunner trying to save, but it's not it. Yuma is down. Gunner now being held down by the Soulbind, trying to deal with Force. They do get the Primal Split down.
Oh, the casks.
The Brewmaster is gone, but now the cask bounce. The damage output. Copywar is gone. Olna can clean up. He's looking for a little bit more. Lelis trying to get away, but it's not enough. Olna will take him down. At least he does take Bengen with him. But man, that Soulbind plus the cask, it is so much damage.
Oh, it is. It is very easy to get those casts just bouncing between those heroes as well. They get it bouncing in the right spot. No camps around to really bounce into as well. I mean, Witch Doctor, you know, everyone only really looked at it when Voodoo Festration came out. I think this hero is just strong. Like, you know, he got nerfed on Death Ward even before in the last patch. His laning's still really strong. They nerfed down Headhunter from 35 to 30. It's still insane. They tried their best announce to save out, but again, this move forward to try to burst down these tanky heroes as long as Bengen's around, it's not enough. And look at those bounces. Look at that. Isn't he a great hero?
I mean, a lot of the damage was kind of mitigated anyway with the Glimmer Cape, and it just, even then, it just felt like it did too much. And with the Soulbind, like, because you've got two casks bouncing around, and they're both getting that bonus damage each bounce. Like, it's a bit much if you get caught without any kind of magic resist. And that was with Glimmer Capes. You know, you get caught without them. Boy, oh boy, I mean, that could be a big problem. Speaking of problems, Yuma's having his own big problems here, John. He's down. Fly trying to run away, copying so much damage here from this Dragon Knight. Gets a Glimmer Cape, continues to run north. Supreme continues to chase the TP away there from Fly. Oh, it's not. Supreme still fine. A double kill for the Dragon Knight, as nouns continue to bleed here in this game too.
That they do, and MOUZ and playing this hit and run very cleanly so far. They've got a lot more play as well with Ulnut having his BKB. It'll get the jump onto Lelis.
Certainly do. I mean, Supreme is just doing too much damage. My God. Kind of ridiculous how much he's doing here on the TK. And now they're looking at Roshan. There's your flashbang coming out once again. Doesn't really matter too much though, does it, John?
I mean, they see that Roshan's happening. You know, that's something, right? Not that you can do anything about it, but
I'm actually kind of disappointed that Valve didn't choose to call it flashbang now. Not gonna lie. Daytime.
You see, it kind of fits in, right? It kind of fits.
CS2 just came out as well. It just makes sense. Just good marketing, wasn't it, John?
Yeah. Can you imagine you agreeing with my dumb point? Isn't that great, Mike?
If I agree,
it's not a very smart comment.
I mean, if I agree, John, it probably is a very smart comment. Let's be honest. Can't be dumb if I agree.
You say so. You're right, Mike. You're right. Fair enough. I think PA is a great hero. Do you agree?
No.
Radiant structures are fortified.
But it's working for all that.
I mean, it's working for all that, John. You know, I give him that. All the big of the devil who'll go through the twin gates once again. A little bit inefficient on the mana, but that's okay. Bottom tier 2 tower. Gonna be under siege here. Supreme will take care of that, no problem. Yeah, I mean, now they're just in a position where they can't fight. Like, you look at the net worth graph. You look at the difference in the cores. Like, this is just one of those positions now where unless you find a really advantageous team fight, like a 3v5 or something, it is looking very challenging to find a way. As now all that BKB's up, Copy trying to get away, and he barely makes it out. They will find at least a hoodwink though on their way out, so Lela's gonna have to die. And you know what, John? That might have been the one situation where I think the facet for the PA, the methodical facet, is, you know, arguably worse. Because he could have double crit that storm, but at the same time, he also couldn't have, you know, so it's... We don't know.
Yeah, I know. I think the key thing for the PA is when you hit your level 20 and 25. 5 attacks and plus 60 attack speed should lead into 2 crits.
Right. Force is now down. Gunnar will take that kill for himself on the Dawnbreakers. They'll take down the Brewmaster, I should say, is now Alden.
Is under attack.
Looking at Gunnar, it's a bit of a risky jump. They don't know where the rest of the team is. Gunnar, though, still going to be able to Celestial Hammer away. They have found themselves a Witch Doctor here, it seems like, so Gunnar will be able to take that kill for himself on the Dawnbreaker. And suddenly, MOUZ Esports have given a bunch of kills away to now.
They have a little bit of a bounce back for now, and some important kills for Copy to get some activity off of, because again, he needs some galvanized stacks up. It's been a bit slow here for our Storm. I'm going for the BKB next as well. Should provide some more aggressive moves out here for now. And still, side of MOUZ isn't really dissuaded too much. They are getting some good pushes up top with a Dragon form of Supreme. With a Corrosive Dragon, the minus armor does make this process fairly straightforward. No big defense come out here from Nouns. They're still ready to go with his Aegis. I mean, still 2 minutes up for Olnit.
Oh boy.
Nope.
Your Storm almost dropping. Glimmer Cape will save for now, but not for long. Coffee is gone. Onto the tier 2 mid tower they'll go.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
This game, like, is it even salvageable at this point? I mean, I suppose it is. Like, Yuma's still farming just fine here on the Weaver. I say just fine. He's about 4.5k behind the PA. Pretty far off farming an MKB on top of that, which is something you're definitely going to need to try and deal with this PA, I think, throughout this game. I mean, maybe once you get to the stage where the MKB is up on Yuma, like, you could start to hope for a bit of a comeback.
That you can. It just feels like there's no play at all for Nouns right now. Outside of, again, pickoffs. Feels like the same issue MOUZ had last time. You're trying to look for heroes to zip on top and copy, get on top of with a Solar Guardian, burst down with numbers advantage early on. But you're only really finding the soft supports. The big cores, the mid and the offlane are a little bit too tanky. The PA is a little bit too slippery. Try to set up around Roche, I suppose, as they catch Supreme off guard.
They have caught Supreme. Supreme going down by himself now. It is just very strange deaths happening. This MOUZ, I mean, it almost feels like they want to lose the game to each other. It's just 7k advantage, 8k advantage now, but just a couple of awkward interactions here with the side of Nouns. Is now Narman gonna get caught. TP's incoming to try and save Narman's life. Narman will drop. Force will rush in, trying to force a fight. Nouns are looking to back off though, and they will by the looks of it. Force, Vortex back. They have caught the Brew for a second. Here comes Olnit though, trying to jump in on Copy, but Copy does just zip away. Is now the Starbreaker completely whiffing onto the Dawnbreaker. Gunnar in trouble. Gunnar might just drop. Still fighting, but he is gone. Human moving back in onto Benga. Does manage to scoochie away. Aegis expiring in the middle of this team fight, by the way, is now Olnit. Onto the creep wave hooker. Force in the meantime. Gonna find Fly, who tries to go for an outpost. Tries to glimmer away, but there's just no chance in hell. He's down.
Way too much damage for the right clicks. And the Cinderbrew landing on top. And that does end up being a lot better for the side of MOUZ, even after expending that first prominent split. They'll try to high ground. You've got the DK draft, you've got the damage. You can force this out. You know there's no Solar Guardian in the respawn. So, again, that big teamfight initiation, it's not as clean here for now to try to force something out in this defense just yet.
It's so stupid how much damage DK does to towers. Like, it always has been, but now it just seems even more ridiculous. Like, just how fast he can just burn through these buildings. Absolutely ridiculous. But there you go. Midrax is gone. 27 minutes in. It's just down.
And they don't need to stop. A little bit more of that dragon form, even in normal DK form, still gets some minus armor if you really want to force it. But they'll play it safe. On the side of MOUZ, 10k advantage, no need to force things out. You've got the full SNY up now in Olnit. Going for a Satanic into a full-on Abyssal Blade. And try to get that instant burst down through control. Does have the attack speed to boost him up here. Again, level 20 talent up. If it drags on to 25, I think that's the moment where this facet can feel really good. -1 attack is massive. Every 5 attacks with all the attack speed in the world you have should be the double crits, and they're really big fat crits as well in comparison to the normal one. And Supreme just going for it. You still have the minus armor in normal form, why not?
Why the hell not? Dip in. They are going to try and jump the back. They're already onto the Grimstrike with the heals coming out, make it hard to blow him up. They'll still get the Soulbind off in time. Naaman finally goes down, but they've lost Gunnar. Good trade so far for MOUZ, I'd argue. They'll lose Bengum, but Lelis is now down to Buddhas. Now they're onto the Storm. The mana is all gone, and Ulna will take very, very quick work of him. Yo, Yuma trying to run. Triple kill for Ulna. They won't even chase him down. They'll just go right for the top racks. No need to mess around. And Ulna's already running down towards the bottom lane. Like, he's not done yet. You'd love to see the Megas coming out here for MOUZ Esports, and seems like they might just get away with it.
Doesn't feel like there's much stopping them. Again, Solar Guardian's back down on the respawn of Gunnar. And without that, I don't know what control you're looking for at this point for now. It's no Kotl Ags, no Storm Ags. Options are limited. They do force the BKB of Supreme. And is one tool gone, I suppose, but not enough to really look for the kills just yet. For MOUZ, it's just pull back and reset. They've got 2-lane advantage now in this game, number 2. 14k lead, Roshan in 2.5 minutes. A little bit of a slower respawn for them. That will give Nouns some time to try to look for some sort of play as they smoke out here.
Certainly do. Die triangles where they'll head. Nothing really coming out of it though. I mean, MOUZ, they have just headed back towards their dire side Tormentor. This will be a relatively quick Torment to be taken. Supreme will pick up his shards from Soft now on the DK. And the smoke really amounts to nothing from Nouns. I mean, they've just got to try and get him in a position where they can try to force a fight, maybe outside of their base. Try to get that kind of surprise initiation off. They are still hanging about by this bottom lane. We'll see Force on the Brewmaster. Once again, Force has proven to be rather challenging to take down on the Brew. There's that the flashbang, as you like to call it, from Gunnar. So now they know exactly where MOUZ are. Like, there's no two ways about it. They've got the exact information they require. It doesn't make the initiation any easier, though, sadly. Is Force again will just try to bait them forward with the Brewmaster positioning, but well, now even Yuma just creep skipping while he can. Anything they can get done, they'll get done here now to try and give themselves a chance in this game too. But here come MOUZ, looking to move in. They'll see Fly first. The stun will land and Fly will immediately be deleted here by Olnit. A nice pushback to lock a couple down, but it makes no difference. As they are looking for more, they're on a Yuma. Yuma, he's able to just secute you away barely, but now Gunnar's in the middle of nowhere trying to save his life, but now Gunnar's down. No buyback, and that was his 9-second BKB charge committed. It's gonna be
flat. I don't see the angle. Like, they need so much more farm in Yuma to even hope of trying to get some burst down on Ulnit. Does feel like they needed to win so much more for Nouns early game. Didn't quite get that going for themselves. High ground siege does continue. This is not going to take too long at all with the heroes they have. And I have to say, it is a little bit wonky with PA not getting multiple crits, but the crits she does get is so damn big. She's cutting through like 1.7k on some of these attacks. It's insane.
Oh yeah, Olin's been doing fantastic work, that's for sure. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. It's looking like it's going to be another tight series here for us, Jonathan. I mean, not over yet. They're going to zip in. They'll try one last time to force MOUZ back. We Force again just taking no damage here as Olna just jumping in, casually taking care of Gunnar. No problems here on the PA. They'll jump in for more. On a copy, they'll go copy. Barely able to make it out for now. But the tier 4 tower is completely under siege. Another jump in. Yuma's been caught.
Oh.
Yuma, he is alive. Copy still trying his best to take down Narman, but Copy just gets deleted here by Alden. Not calling it yet. They'll buy back once again on the Storm. Zipping in again for Copy. They'll take down Narman on the Crimstroke, but they've lost Lilith on the Hoodwink. And now Yuma, still manning up, will take down Bengen just barely, but can he get away? The Orchid is out. Alden's got him. Yuma is down. Buy back again. They'll continue to try, but now they'll lose Fly on the Coddle. He'll buy back. Copy. Cycloned up. Zip back towards the fountain. Yuma though. Yuma is down. Gunner has respawned. Alden is happily just shredding them every time they come out of the base. They'll try again. Copy again. Onto the DK with the Solar Guardian. Gunner trying to burst down the DK. Supreme is down. Maybe they can fight this one out. Maybe. Gunner. Oh, Gunner gets bashed. Mid Starbreaker. He's down. Still not calling it. My goodness. I mean, Nouns really just playing for that final second. The creep wave being skipped. It won't matter though. Copy even getting tipped by Yuma. Like, Yuma's just saying to his teammate, mate, you're trying a bit too hard at this stage. Slenderman. Enough happened there.
We know